Hello and welcome, it's Bulldog Games. Today we're carrying on with our farming system that we're building in Unreal, and today we're going to build the grid system. Now I can show you in my other project, so just bear with me a second. So as you can see, we've only got one plateau here. Oh, message. Hang on a second. As you can tell, we've got one plateau here. On our previous, we only had one big one, but if we press play, it generates loads. So there's the main plateau, and then it generates loads and loads of different plateaus. I understand that the grass texture is not the best, but you can sort it out and do it yourself, whatever way you want to do it. It looks a bit cubey to me, but yeah, if you get a good enough texture, you won't see the cubes, you won't see the grid at all. So that's what we're going to build in this episode. It might be a short one, it might be a long one, depends whether I want to introduce digging the ground up. But this is the reason why we're doing the grid system, so you can make your own flower beds. Right, so we're going to stop that. We're going to drag that over to here, and we're going to get our grid built. So go back to your main folder. So within blueprints, right click, create a new folder, and call this grid. Open it up, and what we need to do, we need to create a grid placer. Okay, so we're going to right click, blueprint class and actor, and call it grid placer. Don't have the space like me because I'm an idiot. I'm going to open this up. Okay, I'm going to drag this over from here because it will open up in the other thing. Going to get rid of this tree log, this oak log, this oak tree, this cherry tree. We do not need any of that today. Might need the farming. Oh, right. So on this grid placer, we're going to have a few variables. So one variable is going to be width. Okay, and that's going to be an integer. Oh, not an integer, 64, an integer. And we're going to have depth. Okay. We're going to compile, we're going to save that. We're going to go onto the event graph, and off begin event play, we don't need this, but on event begin play, we're going to pull in the width. And what we're going to do, we're going to for loop, just for loop. Okay, so what you do, it generate. Okay. So it'll generate, and what we want is we want the last index to be the width and the first index to be 1. Okay, so there's always going to be one of these spawned. Oh, hang on a minute. There you go, 1. And then what we're going to do, we're going to Control C, Control V this, copy it again. Let's get rid of this poxy box, drives me nuts. Connect the loop body to the execution pin. The first is going to be 1, and the last is going to be depth. So we're going to times. We're going to get the depth by the width. Brilliant. Okay, so now what we need to do, we need to create how we're going to spawn these. So out of the index, I'm going to put a reroute node. Okay, so out of here, we're going to times this by 100. Okay, because that is how big a natural cube is in Unreal, but I want I think it's 200, I think, but I want it half that. Okay, so I'm going to do that for the width, and I'm going to do that times it by 100. And I'm going to times it by 100. Okay, and then so the next thing I'm going to do is, now I want to create a transform. Yeah, I don't like this. Make it, yeah, that's it, thank you. Right, so I'm going to create a transform from this. So if we right click here and go make transform, and we split the location pin. Okay, so we split the pins. Now the width is going to be the X, so it's going to be this one. If you plug this in, it will do the converter for you. Lovely jubbly. And the depth is going to be the Y. Now you can do the Z. You just obviously make another one of these, make a variable for height, and you can create height ones and things like that. But obviously it comes a lot more trickier and a lot more into it. So I'm just going to show you the X and a Y. Now, the next thing we want to do is spawn actor. Okay, so we want to spawn actor from class. Okay, so that's going to go straight into our loop body here. We're going to leave this up here, and obviously the transform is going to be the spawn transform. We're always going to spawn, ignore collision, and the class is going to be our ground. Okay, so we're going to compile, we're going to save that. Let me quickly get the ground up on my other ground. There you go. Right, so because obviously it's going to be, it might be different for you. You may not be following this completely the same. So your ground might be, you know, you might not want to do this, so you don't need to edit your ground at all. Just leave your ground as it is if you just want a particular one and you don't want to be able to plant flower beds and things like that. So on our ground here, I just need to know the size of it. That's all I need to do. So I need to go into blueprints. I need to go into farming. I need to get our ground. Okay, and I need to know the size of this. So so we've got a static mesh in a box. Where's our box for this one anyway? Have I hidden this? Hang on a sec. No. Okay, maybe we didn't need it. Okay, right. So on the viewport, what size have I set this to? So this plane I've set to 1, to 1, and to 1. That's the box, Adam. This static mesh, sorry. I've set to 1, to 1, to 1. Okay? We don't need the planting box at the minute, we just need the static mesh box. Okay, so for some reason I don't know why this box isn't working. This box should be here. This box should stay as 1.6. Oh, I don't know. Right, so I just want to change this to grass maybe. Have I got a grass? Yeah, gravel will do. Fuck it. No, grass. We'll do grass. We'll do grass. Because obviously we want to be able to change it. So grass. There we go. We're going to compile. We're going to save this. Now, if we press play, if we go back to here, as you can tell, we've now just got one plane because obviously we've made this a lot smaller. Okay, I'm going to get rid of that tree because we don't need that. Okay, and I'm going to get rid of a couple of these trees just to give us a little bit of room around there so we can walk without picking stuff up. Now, this grid placer we need to place on here. Okay, now you may get a bit trial and error of where this is going to place, but if you bang it there, yeah, it should be okay. Click on your grid and you can change it. Under details, if you've done instant editable. No, we didn't. So go back to grid placer, and these are going to be instant editable. Now we should be able to change the way that this is working default. So if, say for example, we want 20 by 20. Now it might take a little while to load up, so when we press play, because obviously it's got to spawn everyone in. But as you can tell, it's added them in. So now you can walk around, you can pick these up, and you should be able to place these down. Okay? Everything still works the same. You can pick it up, and you can place them down. Once they're fully grown, we should still be able to cut them down, which shouldn't be an issue. And we can still pick up the thing. The stump's there a little bit off the ground, but that's because obviously the lovely jubbly, and there we go. Okay, so next thing I want to quickly add into this is the chopping system. So you're going to have you're going to have 3 hands and you're going to have an axe. So the first thing we need to do is go into here, just make ourselves a little axe, for example. So if we just get a little cylinder, we'll stretch this up, make this smaller, make this smaller. Oh. Make this smaller. Okay, and then we add another cone to it. That'll do. So we're going to make this a little bit smaller and a little bit flatter. There we go. It's just not going to look pretty. It's just going to do what I want it to do. Okay, let's get the snapping grid off. A little bit thinner. Like I said, I'm not really a designer, but if we click on all them, go up to actor, convert to a static mesh, go to meshes and call this axe. Test, because it's not going to be the original axe. Ugh, it's kind of a space. Alright, now we've got the axe. Okay, if we go to our, we can delete this now, we do not need this. Delete, delete, delete. Thank you very much. We go to blueprints, content, character, mannequin, meshes, and we go to this SK mannequin. We need to create a socket for the hand. Okay, so we need to find this hand. Right click, add socket. Okay, right click this. Want to copy socket, quit axe. Socket. Okay, and then we want to right click, add preview, quit axe. Right, now that's a little bit too big. So make it a bit smaller and twist it and stick it in a hand. There you go. Lovely jubbly. Just nice and quick and simple. Nothing too, what's it called? This is what you're. So now we have an axe in our hand. Okay, it's a bit big for a hand, but we have an axe in our hand, right? So we understand now that axe socket, yeah, is when we're gonna attach that. So if we go to our third person character, and what we want to do under mesh, we want to add another static mesh. Okay, and the static mesh is going to be called axe mesh. All right, and the axe mesh we want to add, before we add anything to it, add the socket. Obviously axe socket, okay, and then the mesh is going to obviously be the axe. Okay, so now you can see we're holding the axe. So if we compile, save, play, we've only have an axe in our hand. As easy as that, simple and easy as that. Okay, you're going through my head, but there are little tricks and things you could do, but we are holding an axe. Okay, the best now, what we need to do is create a button. So if we go to our content, blueprints, go to inventory, widget, this one. So on the inventory widget, I want to create a button here. So nothing fancy, we're just literally going to put a nice button in here, okay? And this button is going to be called axe button. Okay, and we're going to duplicate that and put this one next to it. Oh, shit. It's up there, isn't it? Yeah. And then we're going to put this one here. If you want to add them in a box, that's fine. But for what I want, this is going to be fine. So I'm going to anchor to the bottom. Get this to hold here. And then anchor to the bottom again. And get this one to anchor here. There we go. This one's going to be axe and this one's going to be hands. Okay, so we're going to rename this to hands button. Right. So we want to be able to go between hands and axe. We will be able to do this, but for this preference is you know, this is how we're going to do it. So these are variables, okay? So the axe button, oh shit. So the axe button on clicked, what we want to do is we need a reference to our third person. So on event construct, we want to cast to third person character. Obviously out of here is going to be get player pawn, as you should well know by now. And then from here we should promote this and get rid of the as BP character, just call it third person character. Okay, right, so off this clicked axe button, we want to grab the third person character and we want to get the axe mesh. Okay, so at the axe mesh we want to set visibility. Okay, but what we want to do before we compile this, we want to go into the third person and make two variables, which we've already made. We've already made holding a shovel and free hand, so that's good, we can use them. But we need to create holding is holding axe. Okay, we're going to compile, we're going to save that, we're going to go back to the widget inventory. Right, so when we click on the axe button, we want to set it as visible. And then, out of the third person character here, we want to pull off and get is holding axe. Okay, so we're going to set that up here. Right, to true. So we are holding that axe to true. We're going to compile that, we're going to save that. We're going to get the hands button and we're going to get on clicked. And we're going to do pretty much the same thing. Control C, Control V. So if they click the hands button, we want to set the visibility to not true on that axe and holding that axe to not true. Okay, and then we want to add the hands as well. So hands, set hands free. Okay, so the hands are now free. Okay, so the hands, we was holding the axe and now the hands are free. And when we click on this, we want to set the free hands to false. Okay, so obviously when we're holding the axe, free hand is false, and when we're not holding the axe, the free hands is true. So we're going to compile, we can save that. Okay, so I'm just going to add a bit of text to these buttons. For some reason they're not flush, and that's really starting to wind me up. There we go. So on this button we're going to add a text, and the text is going to be axe, just so we know it's the button for the axe. Okay, so axe, lovely jubbly, and we need to add a text to this button, and the text for this is going to be hands. Okay, well, yeah, compile, save. So if we go back to third person character, click on the axe mesh, and we actually want to hide this. So go up to here, type visibility. We actually want to click the visibility to not true. Okay, so now when we press play, if we click on axe, it'll show the axe. If we click on hands, it'll get rid of the axe. Right, so what we need to do now is once the tree, if we go into master seed, now when we go to destroy the tree, we want to check to see if it's fully grown. Okay, if it is, then we want to carry on. We want to check the overlapping box. If that is true, okay, we're going to need to add another, we need to add an and boolean to this. Okay, so we ain't got so many, we've got to make a bit of them. Okay, so we need to add an and boolean to this. So if we come off the third person character and get axe, should be right at the bottom, get axe mesh. Okay, so no, is holding axe. We're going to drag this and get an and boolean. So both of these here need to be true before this branch works. Okay, so we're going to compile, we're going to save that, and we're going to play. So we can grab a tree and we can plant a tree. Okay, now we ain't going to be able to destroy that tree unless we have an axe in our hand. And this is where you can put animations in and things like that. I'll show you. Okay, so now the tree's fully grown. If we go up to the tree and press place, we can't destroy the tree. But if we click on axe, and now we have the axe in hand, we can destroy the tree. Okay, and then obviously we want to do it so when we click the axe again, it on and off, on and off, on and off. Yeah. So go back to the widget, go back to the graft. So now obviously when we click the axe, we need to do a true. Okay, so we need to get out of the third person again. Is holding axe. Okay, and then off here we want to get a branch. So if we are holding an axe, we want to grab this set visibility, Control C, put it up here. Let's run it this way. If we are holding a axe, yeah, and we click it again, we want to hide it. Okay, and then these two, Control C, Control V, we want holding axe to be untrue and free hands to be true. Okay, so we only want to do, we don't want to do these on the hands, we only want to do these on the weapons, for example. Yeah, so now when we click axe, alright, have I done it one way? No, I ain't done false. Good. Alright, so now when we click axe, it brings it up. When we click it, it puts it away. Axe, yeah. Okay, so, and then obviously hands to hands. Hands is just going to stay the same. Axe to hands, axe to hands, axe to hands. Okay, so that's this tutorial done. I hope you found this interesting. I hope it helped a lot. We now can plant trees. We can now chop down trees. We can now gain resources from the trees. We can now only cut trees down if we have an axe. The next episode is going to probably be start getting into the planting of the flower beds and the flowers and things like that. Yeah, and probably implementing this so these are numbered. So axe 1 is numbered to 1. Yeah, hands 1, hands is numbered to 2. So you can switch them around and do what you want with it. So these are going to be your basic tools. This is just literally for this series to work. So yeah, so if you do like and subscribe, it appreciates so much. Thank you so much for giving up your time to watch me. And if you haven't subscribed. On that bombshell, this is Bulldog Games. Have a good night. Bye.